the accident.
मेरा उस दौरान फोन भी टूट गया था। फोन टूटने पर मैं बहुत होपलेस हो गई थी।
But in the CCTV, a purported phone can be seen in her hands. One of Nidhi's neighbors has even claimed that Nidhi had asked for a C-type phone charger at 2:30 a.m.
उसने मेरे से बोला निशान तेरे पास सी टाइप चार्जर है, तो मैंने बोला हाँ मेरे पास हैगा। तो उन्होंने मेरे को अपना फ़ोन दिया, मैंने चार्जिंग पे लगा दिया उसका फ़ोन।
Anjali's autopsy report is also out. Anjali's family claims that alcohol traces were not found in her body and hence Nidhi's claims are baseless.
अल्कोहल पाया जाता तो इसमें लिखा होता कि केमिकल वहाँ पर जो है अल्कोहल मिला है। अगर उसमें स्टमक में वो ये कह रहे हैं सिर्फ फूड पार्टिकल मिला है, मतलब कि अल्कोहल कहीं से कहीं तक नहीं था।
Anjali's family refuted all claims made by Nidhi. Her mother claims Anjali never consumed alcohol. Her uncle has even asked the Delhi police to probe all the allegations leveled by Nidhi.
मैंने नहीं देखा निधि को, हमारे घर पे तो कभी नहीं पी और नहीं कभी पी के आती थी ये वो।
हम पुलिस से चाहते हैं इससे सख्ताई से पेश आए। हमारे को ये मर्डर के धारा लगवाने 302 और ये मर्डर ही हुआ है। इसमें इन्वॉल्व जरूर निधि है।
Nidhi's latest CCTV has opened up a Pandora's box. The latest evidence in the case contradicts every claim Nidhi has made. So the biggest question here arises, is Nidhi's version reliable?
All right, I want to bring you up to speed with what Nidhi has been saying for the last 24 hours since she surfaced into the public domain and what Anjali's family are saying. Number one, Nidhi says she was Anjali's friend. She was with her when the accident happened and she's showing the first set of CCTV footages to back that claim. Anjali's family is asking, where was this Nidhi? Where was this friend for the last 2 days? The accident happened Saturday night, Sunday morning. How did she suddenly surface a full 2 days later? Then Nidhi goes on to say, and she said this time and again, not just in the News 18 interview, but subsequently as well in bites, that Anjali was in an inebriated state. In a very highly inebriated state is Nidhi's version. The family is saying, basis the PM report that was given to them, there is no trace of alcohol in Anjali's body. Nidhi also goes on to say that she reached home at 2:30 a.m. Now, the family's version is the CCTV has a timeline. The CCTV shows 1:37 a.m. If she was at home at 1:37, how could she be in this accident, caught in this accident at 2:05 a.m.? The police have a theory to that, saying that the DVR that recorded that footage is broken and it is 50 minutes early, but all the other DVRs seem to be working just fine. Nidhi says she broke her phone during the course of this accident. She became hopeless thereafter. That's why she didn't contact the police or inform anybody else. The family's version is the Delhi police is trying to dilute this case because in the CCTV footage, the latest one, she is seen looking at a phone. There's also this neighbor who has come out and said that at 2:30 in the morning, she asked for a C-type charger to put her phone on charge. Let me go across to Anvit, who's joining us live. Anvit, clearly, Nidhi was the star witness that the police were putting forth in the public domain. The fact that her statement was recorded under 164 CRPC is to make sure that it is admissible as evidence in court. But already on day one, within 24 hours, so many holes are being punched in her theories.
Exactly, Zaka. This is the woman whom the Delhi police was heavily relying on a statement because she was the only witness. In fact, she is the only witness to this case because other than her, Anjali, who has died, and there were 4 men who are already under arrest, and their versions cannot be trusted upon. Now, this is the only woman on whose version police was relying to establish the sequence of incidents, and they were trying to scientifically corroborate her statement with the CCTV footages they've got. But the main, thing is that the area where these two vehicles collided, no CCTV footage has actually captured the accident, and they are going by whatever version is of this woman. Now, when it has surfaced that this woman too was drunk, and we have confirmed it from the investigators who are privy to this entire case, they have told CNN News 18 that this woman too was drunk, and both these women, Anjali and Nidhi, had been drinking at that hotel where they were, where they had got into an altercation and later left. So this now, makes her statement also kind of unreliable because her statement was recorded 2 days later, and it is a big question whether or not she will be able to recall incidents exactly time by time when giving a statement to police when she was in a heavily inebriated state. So this is why police are now going for CDR details that will scientifically confirm whether these two women were together in the hotel, then at the site of the accident, and after that did Nidhi reach her home. So all these details from cellular companies have already been obtained, and detailed analysis is underway to find their exact location, also exact location of those 4 men, so that it can be identified that all 6 of those, Anjali, Nidhi, and the 4 men who have been arrested, all of them were at the same location at one time.
All right, we'll leave it at that, Anvit, for the moment. Thank you very much for joining us. Of course, there is value of corroborative evidence, and there is, of course, value of eyewitness statements. Right now, the star witness that the Delhi police seem to have put forth, there are already multiple holes in the version of events that she has put forth. Let me now go across to our guests who are joining us. Reena Gupta is Aam Aadmi Party spokesperson. Dr. Shama Mohammed, spokesperson of the Congress Party, will be joined by Shazia Elmi of the BJP. Yashwardhan Azad, former IPS officer, is on the broadcast, and Lalita Kumaramangalam is former chairperson of the National Commission for Women. Ms. Kumaramangalam, let me start with you first. This is an absolutely tragic crime. Nothing of this sort should we even wish on our enemies. But having said that, look at the sequence of events and look at the progress of the investigation from the details that we know in the public domain. It takes 15 hours for the police to register an FIR. The first FIR does not have the stringent charges. Those are subsequently added. Then information comes forth that there were multiple calls made to the PCR. There was no response. Then an eyewitness comes forth and says there were at least 3 PCR vans that circled around this area at the exact same time that this car was, and they took no action. And then suddenly, 48 hours after this said crime, a new star eyewitness comes to the fore, and she gives out a set of details that she makes in the public domain. And within 24 hours, there are all kinds of holes in her version of events. The role of the Delhi police from the start of this crime up until now seems to be highly suspect.
Yes, I agree with you, Zaka, that the police this time really seem to have messed things up and seem to be deliberately messing things up further, especially with regard to this girl, Nidhi. We all already know that on the night of this accident, if one could call it that, it's actually a crime. It's actually murder. The police either didn't respond, couldn't respond, whatever it is, these are just words. They did not do their job. They were pathetically inadequate, criminally inadequate, according to me. And on top of it, this Nidhi girl, this Nidhi person who suddenly turned up after 2 full days after the tragedy happened, I really don't think that she is a witness at all. I think she's been foisted on the scene. Maybe I sound like an alarmist or a conspiracy advocate or something like that. But she was the one who started with the victim shaming. This is what we call it. When a crime against a woman is committed and they try to pick holes in the woman, try to find fault with the victim.
Yeah.
By saying that she was drunk. I mean, so what if she was drunk? If you're drunk, it doesn't mean you're dragged by a car for 13 kilometers and killed in the most horrendous, gruesome, inhuman, barbaric way possible. So all of that is, I think, just, a cover-up, part of a huge cover-up. I'm glad that the cover-up seems to be falling apart because the Delhi police really has a lot to answer for. I have one more question.
Okay.
The lady who's been appointed the head of the investigation team or whatever they're calling it, the SIT or whatever they're calling it, that is going to look into the lapses of the Delhi government. She herself is from the Delhi government. I don't know her at all personally. I'm not trying to dig holes into her career or her character, etc. But are you? Can we be sure? Not are you? Can we, all of us, be sure that she will also not be put under pressure by the same people in the Delhi police who seem to be machinating everything?
Okay, no, I'll leave that aside. Of course, I don't want to, none of us should be casting aspersions on the ability or the integrity of an officer. Let her come to conclusions on this investigation. But Yashwardhan Azad, I want to stick to this Nidhi character. When the police present a person and say that, she was an eyewitness, she was Anjali's friend, she was there when the incident happened, and this happens a full 48 hours after the said crime happens, she gives out a version of events, and those version of events already within 24 hours the family has punched holes, and we can go into the details of that. But when the police present this star witness and say her statement has been recorded under 164 CRPC, surely that statement or her version of events need to hold. Within 24 hours, it's not holding. So is it accurate to say that the police really botched up, at least as far as this eyewitness is concerned? Of course, the rest of the investigation will either ravel or unravel through the course of time. But at least as far as this one particular eyewitness is concerned, it's already unraveling.
No, I think the most important point here is that the substantial part or the essential part of the evidence has been established. Now, this witness said that she was, when the impact took place of the accident, she was thrown on one side and Anjali was thrown on the other side. And she was screaming for help because she got trapped or entangled, her legs got entangled with the axle. Now, this is a very, very important kind of revelation, which is there to establish that the subsequent thing which happened, that when the car dragged on with that body, is a very important part of evidence. Now, the only thing which contradicts is that 1:37 a.m. stamp of the DVR, which
Yeah.
is there of her reaching home. Now, this is something which can be checked because technically, if that is sound, yes, her evidence will be under cloud. But if that is not stamped, because what she has said has something come out very, very openly, unless you're saying, or it is attributed to her that it was doctored and she was asked to say that she was screaming for help.
No, no,
So
one second. Here are the three things that Nidhi has said, and the family saying that these are the contradictions in what she has said. Number one, she has said time and time again yesterday that Anjali was highly drunk, and that's why we had a fight on who should drive the scooty, so on and so forth. The family is saying, here's a postmortem report. They didn't invent the postmortem report. It was given to them by the police. The postmortem report so far is showing no traces of alcohol. That's number one. Number two, Nidhi says, my phone got damaged in the process. I was scared. I was too shocked. I was hopeless. And therefore, I didn't call or inform anyone. And then you have her looking at her phone in this latest CCTV footage. And you have a neighbor who chased her, who's also part of that CCTV footage, saying, at 2:30 a.m., I opened the door for her and she asked me for a C-type charger. If you want a C-type charger to charge your phone, surely it is in some working condition. And number three, I think this is the most important thing, where Nidhi is saying time and time again that she was part of the accident. At 2:05 when the accident happened, she was with Anjali. And at 1:37, you have this footage of her reaching home. Now, the police sources, they're not saying this on record, but police sources are saying, and I want to ask Reena Gupta this, that they are saying this particular CCTV footage, the DVR that captured it, the counters on it were wrong. It was about 50 minutes early. Come on. 4 CCTV footages have preceded. On those, the DVRs were fine. The counters were fine. The timestamps were fine. But on this particular one, it's a problem. It's faulty. Do you buy it?
Zaka, from the beginning, the whole conduct of the Delhi police has not been up to the mark. They have not behaved professionally, whether it is not being able to answer the PCR call in time after being called 22 times, whether it's putting the lenient IPC sections, or whether now suddenly coming out with the star witness whose testimony has many loopholes. So, Zaka, this is the time when all of us should be asking that why is it that the Home Ministry allows this kind of behavior by the police personnel? There have been so many committees, whether it's the Prakash Singh Badal committee or several committees that have recommended police reforms. Time and again, whether it was the Nirbhaya case or 10 years later, today we are talking about the Anjali case. Why is the police department so politicized? Why is the police department not capable of solving a crime like this in this day and age? We are living in 2013. And
No,
why does the police
I
not
want to
have
get
the
to the bottom
technology?
of this. Reena, so hear me out. I'll go to Shama Mohammed also after this. Now, there could be two reasons. One is they are saying, oh, they're covering it up because one of the accused persons happens to be from the BJP. I don't buy that argument because, frankly, he's not any senior member of the BJP. He's some, Mandal fellow in one corner of Delhi. I don't think the entire Delhi police would cover up for some local level BJP fellow in one corner of Delhi. So that's one part of it. The other part of it is it could just be plain incompetence, which again, I mean, in the national capital, the Delhi police force, one of the most decorated police forces in the country, is so incompetent. I mean, again, I find that hard to believe. Other than these two, if there's a third reason, please enlighten us.
No, Zaka, I totally agree with you that there is absolutely a lot of political interference, even if it's some small level Bharatiya Janata Party player. But My sources tell me that he's connected with some union minister, and that is the reason why Bharatiya Janata Party is trying to protect him, and that is the reason why you saw initially that such lenient sections of the IPC were put in the FIR. It's only after the media pressure, after the pressure of Aam Aadmi Party, that those sections have been changed. And again, now the family is asking for a CBI inquiry. We are saying there should be a Supreme Court monitor inquiry, because whether it's the Lieutenant Governor or the Bharatiya Janata Party, there is just too much interference.
Okay,
And
let me go to Shama Mohammed, and Charu Pragya is also joining us on the broadcast. But Shama Mohammed, the issue is simply this, that when Nirbhaya happened, there were a whole bunch of promises that were made, ranging from one-stop centers for rape victims, women police constables in every police station, this SOS buttons to be fitted in phones and in public transport, street lights, CCTVs, all kinds of promises were made. I'm not going into the details of how much has been met, how much has not been met. Policing is only one aspect of it. There is all of these other things also which need to be addressed if Delhi needs to be a safer public space for women.
See, Zaka, I just heard the lady before me say that the accountability, or you said, what about accountability, of the police? Is it so incompetent? It is not incompetence. It's basically after 2014, there is nothing called accountability. In the present government, the Bharatiya Janata government at the center, and the police, which is run by Mr. Amit Shah. It's personal militia now in Delhi. So basically, they want to save the image, and that's why, what was the date? 31st, which was going to the 1st, and 31st, the police patrolling should be the highest. Basically, what I see in Delhi, I live here now, is that there is hardly anything called police patrolling when you compare to other capitals around the world. Hardly. And why was there no police patrolling? Because there was no police patrolling in this. We saw the body being dragged for 12 kilometers. Can you imagine 12 kilometers? Where is the police? The other thing is, the crash happened, head on, is what the eyewitnesses said. It's head on, even that supposedly Nidhi girl said. If it's head on, these people in the car definitely saw this girl fall. All right. What is supposed to be done is they get out of the car. That is what. Now, these guys, the police had initially put a very small section, I think culpable homicide. Now, these people saw the crash, the girl fall down. All right. They are drunk. Why? Can you drink and drive? You can't. That's itself another section on them. So they saw it. They purposefully, of course, dragged. This is murder. This is nothing less than murder, and a terrible, brutal murder. And the police have to be really interrogated on this, that why did they go very light? They wanted to just make it a small thing, like an accident in the first place.
No. So mostly, Yashwazad will sort of testify to this as well.
Wait, let me finish. Let me just finish. Let me just finish one more point. Just one last point, please. And to the Aam Aadmi Party spokesperson, she has no right to say anything today, because I remember when Sheila Dixit was in charge, when Nirbhaya happened, what did the great Chief Minister, Mr. Arvind Kejriwal, say at that point? Delhi police. What did Sheila Dixit say? Delhi police is not under my control. Now, and when he was asked, he said, when I come to power, I will change how Delhi police should be controlled. Does he have any shame today blaming the Lieutenant Governor? I blame him also. Why is he not doing something about the Delhi police? Now it is not under his control. When Sheila Dixit actually said it's not under the control, she was right. Now where is he? He cannot say a single word. And here the BJP also has another Manoj Mittal. Why they hiding him?
So let me go to Charu Pragya about this. No, again, I say this again with a great sense of responsibility. I don't think for some, third level guy, some local pracharak from Sultanpuri, that the entire police machinery will sort of bend over backwards to protect him. I don't think that's the reason. Yes, some amount may be, oversight, some amount may be incompetence, all of that is fine. But my simple question to Charu is, here is this star witness put forth by the police. Her statement is recorded under 164 CRPC. The only reason police do that is so that it is admissible as evidence in court. Clearly, in 24 hours, if multiple holes can be punched into the sequence of events that she has put forth, then imagine how, what the defense lawyers will do when this case goes into trial. They will completely tear her apart, because her version of events is simply not standing. It hasn't stood in 24 hours, Where will it stand trial?
Zaka, good evening. And yes, I agree with you. The way this case started off has been so shoddy that unfortunately it's going to be very difficult to make things stand in court unless the investigative teams and the evidence manages to come together. And I pray for the sake of the deceased and her family that it does. But bottom line, I don't know why this has been treated like some kind of a debate with two sides of the story. There are no two sides to this story. All of us need to be on the same side of the story, which is that 5 accused need to be punished, which is that those who lapsed while on duty on 31st night of Delhi police need to be pulled up to task. And we have to fill up loopholes in our policing, in our administration, so that such instances and accidents, possible murders, I don't even know what has happened, don't occur in the future. See, every 2 hours we hear a new thread unraveling in this case. And we are discussing it. But the worst part of this discussion is that there are 3 women on the show with you right now. And they want to tell you different parts of the story, pull in politics and say why their political party is better than the other. I am sorry, I say this with all responsibility. Can you imagine anybody who wants an incident like this?
Did you do? Sorry,
No,
sorry,
one second. Shama, one second.
Charu,
One
you
second,
said
please.
it
Please, this is
Nirbhaya.
not the way.
No, no,
This
she
is not
cannot
the
go
way.
on like
This is not the way.
She
Let her
says we are
finish.
playing
I
politics.
will
Who
come back
played
to you.
politics
I will
during
come back to
Nirbhaya?
you in your
Who
time.
played politics?
Charu, only Charu on
You don't
screen.
have the time.
Only Charu on screen. Thank you.
I did not speak in between anyone, and I will appreciate the same basic courtesy in return, because I think this is a matter which is grave enough for us to come together. And while these 5 accused are currently behind bars, should we not be focusing on energies on keeping them there? Because the way Aam Aadmi Party especially is talking today is they want to go to the LG for everything. Please tell me, Shama madam, was the LG answering the calls in the PCR van that night? Isn't he taking complete responsibility and onus of the investigation henceforth? I am not saying what has done can be undone, but can we not come together for God's sake, if not for this girl that we've already lost? Also, you keep going back to the fact that this person happened to belong to BJP. Madam, there are 18 crore members of the BJP, and this one was just a part of some mandal. Are you even aware of how many BJP mandals are there in Delhi alone, let alone India? So let's not go there. Also, let me remind you, he's behind bars, treated at par with the other.
Charu. The issue is, again, I don't want to play politics. I mean, politicians will play politics. It's not out of place for politicians to play. The issue is, one second. The issue is, and I want to underline this. I think the issue is, Shama is right to the extent it's about accountability of the Delhi police. Look at, the Delhi police, and it's, again, I'm sorry I'm using this phrase, Yasho Azad, about the incompetence of the Delhi police. The Delhi riots happen, 50 people die. It took days for some kind of normalcy to be established. We had Shaheen Bagh, whichever side of the political divide you're on, I don't care about that. But the fact is that for months on end, one major arterial road in Delhi was blocked by a group of people. And now you have this latest incident. Of course, I'm not even going into the other, rapes and crimes against women that happen in Delhi on a daily basis. There is a problem in accountability in the Delhi police in a way that we didn't see, years or decades ago. But over the last few years, there is a problem, Yasho Azad. This decision that was taken a few years ago to move away PCR vans, mobile PCR vans, from a centralized control room and then assign it to them to respective local thanas. Again, that is a very, very critical factor in the crime that happened on Saturday.
Yes.
Who is accountable for those decisions? It's the accountability question that is top of mind. Yashwardhan Azad.
Yes, you're right. This decision was taken by one of the commissioners. The commissioner just removed one from the present one. And this, of course, impacted hugely on the law and order. But let me tell you one thing, irrespective of the regimes, this incident could have taken place in any regime.
Of course.
So fighting a political battle on this is I think, is really deviating from the topic. The first point which I want to say here is that there is no doubt that those Delhi streets should have been better lighted. That area is totally very, very dim lit. And the very fact is that if the body was being dragged for so many minutes, Why didn't even the private people also, more and more private people come as witnesses saying that the body is been dragged? That shows that that particular part, the two things are very, very important. One is that the response time of the Delhi police was pathetic. So because if the first report has been made about 3:17 or something, and the response comes after 1 or 2 hours, then that is something very, very serious, which has to be looked into. But secondly, let me say again that the substantive part of the evidence is not lost. If the FIR even has been written after 15 hours, it's because the first report must have been put in the Roznamcha, that is the general diary, and when some body of report came, and I believe the FIR has been registered by the accused, in which it has been fairly established that yes, an accident took place. Therefore, the first part has been established, and the second part about the dragging is more important, which we should talk about. Were the accused aware that a body is being dragged or not? And that is where the auto engineers and the experts will also be called to the court. Therefore, this is a case which is a clear case of culpable homicide, not amounting to murder. But the prosecution has to be competent, his has to be solid and sustained.
No, Yashu Azad, I am absolutely convinced that this was a head-on collision. No matter how drunk you are, how inebriated you are, if there is a scooty that's coming in front of your car and you've hit it, there is no way the driver does not know about it. And secondly, the fact that from 2:05 a.m. when the impact happened, when the clash happened, and they were driving around all the way till 4:15 when the police found the body. So for 2 hours, driving with a body stuck under their car, there is no way, no matter how inebriated you are, the driver will know that the car, something is blocking the movement of his car. Anyway, Lalita Kumar Mangalam, again, the Delhi police can straight away assuage the concerns of outraged Delhiites tonight. All they need to do is, there is an eyewitness called Deepak who said, look, I made the PCR call 3 times. It's only on the 4th occasion that it was answered. After the answering, I was trying to chase this car. There were 3 PCR vans that passed me by during that time. It is very easy for the Delhi police to figure out who were there in those PCR vans, who are the ones who did not answer the calls at the PCR that were called by this man Deepak, and just suspend them from duty pending inquiry. That one act alone will reassure the people of Delhi that the Delhi police don't have any vested interest in protecting the accused in this case, or don't have any vested interest in cocking up a story in order to dilute this case. Just that one act alone.
I agree with you 100%, Saka. I also agree with what you earlier said, that anybody who's ever driven a car, and most of us on this show have, we know that if anything is stuck under our wheel, even for about 100 yards, immediately we know that that there's something impeding the movement of the wheels. You stop your car to find out whether it's a puncture, whether it's something else. So that piece of evidence is, I think, or whatever they are calling alibis or whatever you want to call it, is, I think, just crap. Sorry for the language. Secondly, I agree with you that the Delhi police now really need to be held accountable. If the BJP spokesperson herself has said that the BJP has washed its hands of that particular minor member of their party, then it means that their party is not putting pressure on what has happened. But the police, for whatever reason best known to them, really seem to be casting a doubt on their own intentions. If somebody like me can say that I doubt what's happened, I doubt if this girl Nidhi is actually speaking the truth, and there are so many holes in her evidence, in the evidence or the statement she's giving, that there are so many holes in how the police have handled, writing down the evidence, the charges they have filed under which they have filed this complaint. How is it possible that the victim had to come and say that I am filing an FIR? I mean, this is ridiculous. And what time did the victim come? 2 hours after he's dragged this poor girl around, skinned her alive almost, broken her skull, I mean, with her brains out on the road. Imagine how that poor child died. Just a 20-year-old girl. So what if she'd had a few drinks on New Year's Eve? Beginning from victim shaming to filing it under the wrong sections of the Criminal Procedure Code, to the delay. I mean, there's absolutely unmissable and unforgivable delay. The police have totally messed this up.
Yeah,
Whether
Charu wants to
deliberately or
respond, and
not,
after that, I'll
I
go
don't
back
think
to
anybody can
Shama
say.
Mohammed and to
But
Reena
they
Gupta
have
as well.
messed
Yeah.
it up, and they must be held accountable.
Charu.
Must.
Yeah.
Yeah, Zaka, I want to raise three very quick, very important social issues. Of course, I agree with ma'am. Victim shaming is not the way ahead here. Number one, police reforms are a must. Look at the civilian to police ratio in our country. It needs to be improved. Number two, street lighting and CCTV cameras in every corner of the country, not just the capital, but especially in the capital, because there's so much of negative news around Delhi. These street lights have to not just be installed, but also be working, and I cannot stress on this enough. It is extremely critical. Third thing, why is it that those who are involved in this hit and run murder, whatever you want to call it, want to leave this girl behind and run away, if that is the case? Why is it that someone who calls herself a friend, forget talking to the cops, cannot go and even talk to her parents about the accident that she was a witness to? And these are very big questions that we need to address as a society. We need to work on many, many fronts. Improving policing is, of course, one of them, but other issues also have to be.
So let me ask Reena Gupta that. Admittedly, Mr. Kejriwal had made a campaign promise that there will be 1.5 lakh CCTVs in Delhi. Please apprise our viewers of the status of that. Number two, street lighting. We have 5 CCTV video clips so far. In all 5 of them, it seems to be dimly lit. And these are from 3-4 different locations, not from the same location. In 3-4 different locations on New Year's Eve night, when the whole city is supposed to be lit, these 5 CCTV camera footages show all dimly lit parts of Delhi. Like I said, policing is one part of it, very important part of it, needs to be absolutely fixed forthwith. But crimes against women, rapes and murders are not going to stop just by policing alone. What about street lighting? What about CCTVs? That comes under your domain. That comes under the state government. Please tell us.
So Zaka, there are more than 3 lakh CCTV cameras in Delhi, and it is only because of these CCTV cameras that we have the perpetrators on camera today, and we are having this discussion, we are having this show because they've been caught on camera. That's point number one. Point number two, 80% of the Delhi roads, Zaka, in Delhi are under the MCD. We've just taken charge of MCD, which was with the Bharatiya Janata Party for 15 years, and I can assure you, now all of these dark spots will be solved. But Zaka, the issue is that it is not just in Delhi, it is all over the country. We are seeing crime against women have gone up. Have we ever heard the Women and Child Development Minister ever speak? Where is the National Commissioner for Women? Have they ever spoken? Wherever there is, but Bharatiya Janata Party is always standing next to the rapist, whether it's the Sengar case, it's the Kathua case, it's the Unnao case, or the latest case in Haryana where the minister is involved in sexual harassment. So unless people in position of power, they come out and strongly condemn all of these cases of violence and sexual harassment against women, we are not going to see all of these crimes go down. People in position of power have a bigger responsibility. The Minister for Women and Child Development needs to speak up. The National Commission for Women needs to speak up so that we can have a safer environment for the women of our country. On one hand, we are feeling very proud.
Let
that
Charu respond to that. I mean, it can't be that
G20
when crime against women happen in
opposition
ruled states, then all the BJP folks come out and say things
Zaka,
on record. But when it happens in...
Zaka, can I speak?
Let her. Yeah, I'm coming to you, Shama. I'm coming to you. I did say I'll come to you.
Zaka,
Yes.
why do you invite the Congress? I mean,
I always invite the Congress. I always give them time. You only happen to be the only Congress spokesperson who seems to have a problem with this. One second, I'm coming to you.
You are the most unfair to me. Yes, you
no,
are the most
no,
unfair to me.
that is
I'm
wrong.
sorry,
No, that
you're
is
very
so
unfair
wrong.
to me, Zaka.
No, Dr.
I will
Shama
not
Mohammed,
come if
I'm
you're
sorry.
going to be
I will not
continuous to be
accept that
unfair to me.
criticism.
No.
I don't think that is fair at
and
all.
you have given.
I'm
you have
sorry,
given the
I do
others
not
2
accept that
turns.
criticism
My
at
second
all.
turn has not come.
I
have
will
to give up my
come
point.
to you.
Yes,
I will come to you
criticize
by
you are very
turn.
unfair to me.
There is a
the
charge.
The only anchor who does not give me time is
please.
you.
Ma'am,
I am sorry.
This debate is much bigger than Zaka Jacob or Shama Mohammed. Let me give Charu a chance to respond. I'm coming to you right after that. Forthwith, in 30 seconds.
I mean, you keep...
Charu.
Charu has spoken 5 times.
Because she is the party in power. She's the one who needs to be questioned.
No, but then
there are 5 people questioning her. She has to respond.
We also want to question her.
No, including you, all of us are questioning her and she has to give answers because she represents the ruling party. So let her give her answer to the charge made by the AAP spokesperson, after which I'll come to you. Yes, Charu.
Zaka, thank you. No, and because the AAP spokesperson is talking about all these issues, I want to remind her that one, crime against women is not something that anybody endorses, us least of all. I am saying this very seriously and with a lot of responsibility. Second, shielding of criminals by anybody has to completely stop. I have very clearly said that sections against this Manoj have been made stricter. It doesn't matter what his political affiliation is, and we are very clear and very honest about that. That cannot be said the same for you and your party, madam, because you have a minister who's behind bars. You have a Tahir Hussain who burned down half of Delhi. You still continue to support and defend
Madam,
him.
we all of us remember the
Reena
Kathua
ji,
case,
Reena ji,
remember
Reena ji,
the
please,
Unnao
please,
case,
one at a time.
and
No,
the
no, no.
latest
You
case
made
from
made
Haryana.
certain charges. Let her respond to it. I'll come back to you. I'll come back to Shama Mohammed first, and then to you. Yeah. Yes, Charu, finish.
Also, the LG has very clearly said that even in Delhi police, he has addressed the commissioner of police and said very clearly that we have to identify the lapses and heads have to roll. Responsibility has to be affixed. Now, that is the first step in taking this investigation forward.
Okay. Dr. Shama Mohammed, yes, go ahead.
See, a couple of points to this lady called Charu Pragya. She says he is one of the 800. We have so many people, you know. See, you have to understand, Charu, the Bharatiya Janata Party has stood with rapists. That's why we keep accusing you from Kuldeep Singh Sengar, Chinmay Anand. What happened at Hathras? What happened in Kathua? You guys were marching with the rapists in Kathua. Your own ministers were marching. So definitely the Bharatiya Janata Party has something to do. Again, she keeps saying, you know what, the police, we will see to it. Who is, no, stop, no, I'm speaking now. Who is in charge of the police?
Charu, I'll come back to you. Charu, I'll come back to you. Let her finish. Let her finish.
Charu can't interrupt. She just told me about interrupting.
She's not. Only you're on frame. Go ahead.
This is the...
Only you're on frame. Go ahead. Yeah.
So, what I'm trying to say is that who is in charge of this police? A man called Amit Shah. Where is Komal Sharma, who went about vandalizing JNU? Have you caught her? Where is Amit Shah, the sole man who has to be responsible for Delhi police, who has to resign in all aspects is Mr. Amit Shah. I mean, he's completely failed as a home minister from border states. What we have, the Assam police killing the people from the other side. I mean, we have seen Amit Shah has to resign. He is a complete failure. He has to pull up the Delhi police. Why is the Delhi police? There has been an acid attack. No, Zaka, there has been an acid attack couple of days back. There has been a knifing yesterday. A jilted lover has knifed a girl. She's in a critical condition. Why is Amit Shah doing nothing? And also one more thing is the Mansikta. See, they are saying we need to do police reforms and all sorts of things. But what is the Mansikta of these police? Why are they just so this thing? Oh, a girl is drunk. This is what... why is she talking right now, Zaka?
Okay, you made a charge. You made a charge. I gave you more than a minute time.
No, you are not stopping her. She was interrupting.
Only you were on frame. Dr. Shama Mohammed, only you were on frame.
No, I could hear her.
No, I don't know how and why you could hear her, but you were the only person on frame. You made your point. You made a very serious charge. Let her now respond to that serious charge that you have made.
Amit Shah should resign.
Okay, that is the charge you've made. You've said that 5 times in the last 1 minute. Charu Pragya, now respond.
So, Zaka, do you see this? Do you see this being a constructive discussion on how to punish the accused? No. All this is about for Shama Mohammed is that Amit Shah should resign. Is she concerned about the man who was in the PCR van that night? Is she concerned about the guy who was on beat duty in all those 4 areas? Is she concerned?
Yeah, because Amit Shah is in charge of that.
No, one second. Shama, you can't have it both ways. You know, first you ask for uninterrupted time. I give you uninterrupted time. You've made a big charge. Let the BJP spokesperson respond to it. You can't then interrupt her. When she interrupts you, it's not okay. But when you interrupt her, it's okay. That's not fair, right?
She was interrupting, you're quiet.
Okay,
no,
let her finish. You made a big charge.
You made a big charge. Congress cannot interrupt the BJP. So you also need to be, you also should be a balanced person. You can't be supporting the Bharatiya Janata Party and be a journalist.
Let her respond. Shama,
no,
let's have a
I'm
civil
sorry.
conversation
I'm not going to keep quiet with this sort of journalism again.
If
you are not going to be a balanced anchor,
you're better than this, Dr.
I've taken this for a long time.
I appeal to your better self. I appeal to your better self. Let Charu respond. Charu.
So at the risk of repeating myself, Zaka, Shama does not question the person who doesn't answer calls in the PCR. She does not question the person who's the beat in charge. She does not question the person who's in charge of not just 1 but 4 police stations across this entire route. She does not even question the local DCP. What she wants to question is the Honorable Home Minister. So that shows very clearly that the aim of these political parties is only and only to serve their petty, selfish political purposes and not to punish the culprits, not to pinpoint the problems.
Zaka, can I come in for 10 seconds, please?
No, 1 second. Let her finish. Yeah.
And
quickly.
instead of staying on the topic at hand and trying to find a way forward, all you want is Amit Shah should resign. Why should I not say the same thing to Aam Aadmi Party then? Why should I not say, why doesn't Arvind Kejriwal resign because the lights were not working? Is that the kind of politics you want this country to have? Can we not rise above it even at a time like this?
Okay. All right. Now, look, I'll say this
Zaka,
as we wrap
seconds,
up.
please?
As we wrap up, I want to
Zaka,
give. I want to move away from the politicians, please. We've had too much politics over this. We've had too much politics over this. I want to give the final word to Yashu Azad and to Lalita Kumaramanglam. Yashu Azad, I think very serious questions are being asked and have been asked from day one since this crime happened about the role of the Delhi police and the accountability of the Delhi police. There is a very senior officer who's overseeing the investigation. I think her first starting point should be to find out who are the cops on patrol duty that day, who are in the PCR, who are the people in the control room who did not answer the calls. At least suspend them pending inquiry. That would be one huge step forward in assuring the people of Delhi.
Yes, I agree with you. I think there are two things. One is the part where the accident took place that could not have been prevented. Number two, could this have been prevented? Could Anjali's life could have been saved? That's an important question. So the question is, if the response time would have been very effective, would have been very timely, maybe her life could have been saved. Okay. In that respect, you're absolutely right. The 3 PCRs which went by, it is easily to find out. Yeah. They should be suspended and there should be a salutary lesson. But the point is, by lumping everything on Delhi police only, our responsibility is not over. By saving our own ministers, whether it's a home minister or various parties, I think this discussion is going in a wrong way. Okay. Why didn't one of the women raise the point that how much of Nirbhay funds have been accounted for, whether in BJP states or in Congress states? None of them said this. Okay. It is really for me.
Lalita Kumaramanglam, I'll give you the final word. 30 seconds, I've got to wrap up, ma'am. Nirbhaya happened 10 years ago. Today we're talking about Anjali. And God forbid, yes. I'm a cynic. Sorry to say this, but there will be somebody else, another year down the line. And we'll be having this debate all over again. That's just the reality. That's just the sad state of affairs.
Zaka. I agree with you. I'm also a cynic now, especially after those years at the NCW. Everybody talks big. Everybody points fingers at everybody else. But ask them to come and say that, yes, we are also perhaps responsible for what's happening today. Then everybody becomes holier than thou. The point is that accountability has to be fixed. Whether it is at the center, whether it is at whichever state this happens, and this is happening across the country. Tamil Nadu, Kerala, Maharashtra, Chhattisgarh, Uttarakhand, Delhi, etc., Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, everywhere it's happening. Yeah. We need to bring in serious reforms in the judicial system, especially that the fast track courts. I don't know how far, whether they're tracking, forget about the fast bit of it. The way the police are trained, the police are motivated, the police are oriented. There is no gender sensitization program for anywhere for any police anywhere in the country. Okay. What is there, and believe me, I've seen a couple of them are totally useless.
All right, we got to leave it at that. Thank you very much to all our guests. I'm completely out of time. Thank you very much. Thank you very much to everyone. All I'll say is this. We have today CCTV footage of a PCR van 5 minutes, just 5 minutes after that accident happened, going by that same route, following the Baleno car. There were chappals of the victim on the side of the road. There were blood stains. And God knows, if a body is stuck under a car and it's being dragged on the road, wouldn't there be flesh and blood on the road? What was that PCR van doing? I'm going to take a break. When we come back, there's been a nationwide protest by the Jain community. That and more stories in our Speed News segment. A one-stop center for rape victims, woman police constable in every station, all-female police stations. Tell our viewers, you've been in power for the last 8 years in Delhi. What have you done to change this? You had promised X number of street lamps across Delhi and 1.4 or 1.5 lakh CCTVs across Delhi. What has happened to all of that? Yes, the policing was appalling. No doubt about it. And I'll ask Mr. Kakkad about it. Sorry, Mr. Srivastav about it. But you please tell us about these other measures that were promised to be implemented after Nirbhaya.
Zaka, good evening to everyone. Zaka, I can go on and enlist that we have CCTV cameras which are higher, which are in excess of what Paris says. But I want to please not divert the issue, and this is completely a failure of investigation that you will see. Even you see how it was tried. They tried to dilute the issue. Initially, they came out with a 304A. We saw the condition of the dead body online. All of us saw it. A mere look at the pictures that surfaced. That was not a mere case of negligence. It could not be so. They tried to water it down by a 304A. And now I'm informed through media reports that they have perhaps added a 304. But then I also hear the victim's statement today, which says that usko cheekhe sunai di, or cheekhe sunai di, that means that it was intentional. They dragged the body intentionally. This is a clear case. Then it'll be a murder case, because the victim was alive at the time when they were dragging the body. You have to question the police role. I heard the eyewitness statement. The eyewitness said that he stopped at 3 PCRs and none of them showed any interest.
I will play that out. I'll play that in a second. I'll get Mr. Srivastav to respond. But please answer the question I asked, ma'am. Distress buttons, CCTV cameras, your street lamp. I mean, look, even in this latest incident, this was a very, very dimly lit area. What have you done on those promises? Those don't come under the Delhi police.
Saka, we have implemented those promises, and there is no doubt about it. It is official data. You can see. You can go on the Delhi roads and see. I am telling you, this is about investigation this time. Why hasn't anyone been suspended till now? We will again see, and no one killed at Morbi. No one, Hathras was an international conspiracy. The law and order situation in the city is going from bad to worse. We've been repeatedly telling the LG that, he likes to come and take credit for Delhi government's work, or tang rani hoti kaam mein Delhi government ke. But when it comes to law and order, there are 209 police stations in Delhi. Which one has he visited till date? How many meetings has he taken?
Look, we can go on and on about this political tutu meme between AAP and BJP. You're well within your right to do that. I'm not stopping you from doing that. But I don't think that is going to fix Delhi's problems when it comes to women's safety. I don't think that is going to make Delhi a safer place for women. Okay, let me now ask Mr. Srivastav, and I agree with you. Rightfully, the Delhi police and its role needs to be questioned. But I want to play out Deepak's soundbite. Just give me 30 seconds, Mr. Srivastav. Deepak is one of the eyewitnesses. He says that at 3:30 he saw this car pass by his shop. There was a body stuck under it. He called the PCR. He called the police, the 112 helpline number. Not once, not twice, but 3 times. He said over a period of 1 hour, he was trying to chase this car down. 3 PCR vans passed him by and none of them did anything. Let me just play that out for 30 seconds and then I'll go across to Mr. Srivastav.
मैं लाडपुर पहुंचता हूं तो गाड़ी आगे से एक पीसीआर गाड़ी मेरे को आती नजर आई और उसी टाइम लाइन पे मेरे साथ जो जनाब थे जिससे मेरी बात चल रही थी पहले, मां जनाब पीसीआर आ रही है सामने से, अगर इसके पास मैसेज हो तो ये इस गाड़ी को रोक सकता है, हम इससे बिल्कुल 50 से 60 मीटर पीछे हैं। लेकिन वो बोले नहीं ये टच में नहीं है, और हम वहां से क्रॉस होते हुए बिल्कुल सीधे चले गए और वो पीसीआर भी हमको शायद देख नहीं पाई या हमारे वो इन्फॉर्मेशन उसके पास नहीं थी या वो हमको झूठा समझ रहे थे। लेकिन मैं फिर भी पीछा करते करते यहाँ से लेके बेगमपुर, यहाँ से तकरीबन 10 किलोमीटर पड़ता है, वहाँ तक गया हूँ। 3 पीसीआर इस दौरान मेरे से क्रॉस हुई हैं। किसी ने जैसे वही बात फिर आ रही है या तो रोल घूमने के चक्कर में मेरी एग्जिट लोकेशन उन्होंने नोट नहीं कर पाई या मेरे पास तक
3 PCRs passed him by over a period of 1 hour, Mr. Srivastav, and none of them did a thing. Surely there can't be anything more devastating and damaging than that.
See, on the face of it, I do feel that there has been lapses. These lapses, I say because
Welcome back. Another car collision has come to light from Delhi's Dwarka area where a car reportedly rammed into another vehicle at a red light. A case has been registered against the car owner, who also happens to be an assistant sub-inspector of the Delhi police. 6 vehicles, including a PCR van, were damaged during the accident. Further investigation is underway. 5 guards were injured after a brawl broke out in Shah Jahan Road in Delhi.
A major scuffle broke out between guards and vendors at Delhi's Shah Jahan Road. 5 security guards were reportedly injured after the incident. The visuals of the clash went viral on social media. The fight broke out after the private security guards didn't allow them to sell eatables as the India Gate stretch is a no-vending zone. Later, an NDMC truck started loading the materials. The agitated vendors began pelting construction materials and sticks at the guards and refused to remove their kiosks. Delhi police has now registered a case and an investigation is currently underway.
In a shocking incident, a drunk man urinated on a female passenger in the business class of a New York-Delhi Air India flight on the 26th of November. Air India has filed a police complaint. They've constituted an internal committee to investigate the matter. The said passenger has now been banned from flying with Air India for 30 days or till the decision of the internal committee. The Jain community staged a nationwide protest after the Hemant Soren-led government decided to turn 2 holy sites, the Parasnath Parvat and the Tirthraj Samed Shikharji, into an ecotourism spot. The Samed Shikharji is one of the biggest pilgrimage destinations for the Jain community. Meanwhile, sources have told CNN News 18 that the central government will soon address this issue. The Madhya Pradesh police have raised a hotel of suspended BJP leader Mishri Chand Gupta in Sagar, who's also accused of murder.
A 5-story hotel which belonged to suspended BJP leader Mishri Chand Gupta was razed by Sagar district administration. A special team from Indore blasted 60 dynamites to demolish the hotel after 12 hours of hard work. The building turned into rubble within seconds. About 80 kilograms of gunpowder and 85 gelatin rods were used to demolish the building. The district administration said permission was taken for a 2-story shopping complex, but a 5-story hotel was built and was being operated. The move came after a public outrage over Jagdish Yadav murder case. Jagdish Yadav was allegedly crushed to death by an SUV on December 22. His family members accused Mishri Chand Gupta for murdering Yadav.
In a heroic move, a head constable in Bengaluru climbed 30 feet to rescue a crow that was stuck on a hoarding frame. Apparently, the crow got trapped in a manja mid-air. In fact, the rescue video not only turned Suresh into a social media hero, but he also earned appreciation from several quarters, including from Karnataka Home Minister Aragha Gyanendra. A man's quick thinking saved a woman's life in Pratapgarh.
A major tragedy was averted in Uttar Pradesh's Pratapgarh. A woman was trying to overtake a truck in a market area, but lost her balance and was about to collide with the truck. A man who was standing by quickly reacted and pulled her out of the clutches of death. The woman suffered some minor injuries. The whole incident was captured on CCTV camera and the video is now viral on social media. Netizens are praising the man for his quick thinking and saving the life of this woman.
A shocking accident was recorded on CCTV in Bagha district in Bihar.
A hair-raising accident from Bihar was recorded on camera. The incident is from Bagha district in Bihar. A man was trying to cross the road while speaking on phone with someone, but he was not aware that a car was also speeding towards him at this moment. The car later hits the man, who fell about 15 meters away from the spot. Whole incident was recorded on a CCTV camera. The man was later rushed to the hospital, where he is in critical condition.
An Indian origin kabaddi coach was shot dead in the Philippines capital Manila. The incident occurred when an unidentified assailant barged into his home. 43-year-old Gurpreet had gone to Philippines around 4 years back to earn his livelihood. Following the reports, the victim's family from Punjab has now demanded the government to bring back his mortal remains. Uttar Pradesh is all set to get its second elephant reserve, considering the increasing number of elephants over the last few years. The new reserve will be India's 33rd elephant reserve, covering an area of over 3,000 square kilometers. This is going to be in Lakhimpur Kheri. It will be 4 times bigger than the Shivalik Elephant Reserve in Saharanpur, which happens to be Uttar Pradesh's first elephant reserve. Captain Shiva Chauhan became the first woman officer to get operationally deployed at the world's highest battlefield, the Siachen Glacier. Captain Chauhan was deployed at Siachen after she completed her arduous training. The Leh-based Fire and Fury Corps also tweeted a picture of the officer and called her feat as breaking the glass ceiling. Just days after the residents of Himachal Pradesh rang in the new year, a new winter carnival is being celebrated in the state. As part of the carnival celebrations, Kulbi folk dance was organized at the Mall Road in Shimla. Several women belonging to the Kulbi community participated in the dance, along with tourists who are visiting the city. The Portland Korean church in Oregon was engulfed in flames. No injuries or casualties have been reported so far.
Massive fire broke out at the Portland Korean church in Oregon. The incident took place on Tuesday evening. Flames at one point were seen billowing from the church's steeple and eaves. Portland Fire Department said that the flames also spread to a nearby home. It's still unclear how extensive the damage is. The church has been the scene of several large fires in recent years. The building was already deemed unsafe for entry. Officials say that the church was unoccupied at the time the fire broke out. No injuries or casualties have been reported.
Anti-Pakistan protests were held in Poonch district of Jammu and Kashmir. The stir was staged after the twin terror attacks in Rajouri, which killed 6 people. The protesters demanded an increase in security in the valley and also especially around the places where Kashmiri Pandits are currently residing. Meanwhile, 18 additional CRPF troops have been deployed in Rajouri and Poonch. In an attempt to try and encourage fish farming in the state, the Manipur government has organized a fish fair in Imphal East. The event will have over 90 different stalls focusing on multiple varieties of fish and fish products. The state government has also made a special focus to make Manipur a self-sustainable state in fish production. 4 people were miraculously rescued after a car fell into a gorge in California.
A frightening incident has come to the fore from California. The Tesla plummeted into a 250 deep gorge from the highway and crashed into a rocky outcropping. 4 people were traveling in the Tesla when it fell into a deep gorge. The eyewitnesses called 911 around 10:15 a.m. and the crews set up a rope system from the highway to lure firefighters down the cliff. The rescue operation took several hours amid constant rain, heavy winds, slick roads and crashing waves. A rescue operation was launched to save the family, but looking at the condition of the car, it became difficult to believe if there were any survivors. But all 4 were conscious and alert when rescuers arrived. All the survivors suffered musculoskeletal injuries and 2 adults were airlifted to the hospital.
Sharing a picture of his bruised face on Instagram, Hollywood actor Jeremy Renner thanked his fans from his hospital bed as he continues to recover from 2 surgeries. The Hawkeye actor was critical after he got injured after clearing snow from his driveway very close to his home on New Year's Day. And star footballer Cristiano Ronaldo has joined the Saudi Arabian club Al Nassr. The 37-year-old signed a 2.5-year deal with the club for a reported sum of 200 million euros. Ronaldo is most likely to make his debut for Al Nassr on the 5th of January. His contract at Manchester United was terminated mid-season after his explosive interview with Piers Morgan. That's a wrap. Maria Shakil joining you with News Epicenter.